We are rolling. You're watching Mindful Love with Justin and Janie, where they're keeping it real in REALationship. In this video, they're covering the R.A.D love deeds.
Appreciated. So thank you's underrated, I think. I didn't realize the power of just saying thank you to your partner for little things. Now I'm not saying to make it an automatic thing, no emotion in it, but when you're spending forever with someone, those little things do become important, because it's easy to, over time, start to underappreciate your partner. I think I underappreciated my willingness to make you coffee in the morning. She never demands it, but I rarely ever tell her no.
Yeah.
When she asks.
Yes.
And there was this period of time where maybe I wasn't in like the best of moods, but I did it anyway. And I know what you said, hey kid, there's it. Oh, well, if you don't feel like it, don't do it. But it wasn't that. It was no. I want to make her coffee, and sometimes I'm going to be a little more groggy than other mornings. It's no big deal, Understanding the context of forever and what that actually means. It's like, hey, I want to be the one I want to make you coffee every morning. That's easy to think about at the end when you're already there, and you can hear some couple that's been together for 50, 60 years talk about how he's always made coffee for her every morning, right? But it's not until you're making coffee every morning or you're on that journey that you realize, shit, I'm not gonna want to be making coffee every morning. And you start to realize the choice that you're making to, you said it earlier,
Show your love or what?
Show your love, but also, stay true to your word, to honor your word. And so thank you for me when that kind of thought and that kind of love goes into a morning cup of joe. Her thank you means so much more to me. But on the outside of the relationship, someone that doesn't understand that we've communicated that to each other, it seems it's kind of innocent. Like, oh, it's kind of sweet that they still say thank you to each other. But for us, it's the world. For me, that's starting the day together. That's us as a couple entering this new day with gratitude and on the same team, on the same page. We are together in this. This is an us thing. This is a we thing. We are not adversaries. We are together. We are partners. And for me, that's what making her a cup of joe is. It's my reminder, my first thing I do in the morning for is getting her a cup of joe. We are partners. Let's do this. And so her thank you is almost like her saying, it's her showing appreciation for the partnership. I bring her a cup of joe. She thanks me, and I feel I feel appreciated, but I also feel like she appreciates this unionship in the same way. But on the outside looking in, it can seem like something so small and innocent.
Yeah. All the tiny little things that we do to keep the household like flowing and going. Like we're just like constantly ping ponging. Thank you throughout the entire day. And that brings something energetically because there's power in word that we're breathing life into each day. And that's just a habit. It will never go away. People are like, oh, you'll get over it. You've only been together a couple of years. And I get it. I was with somebody for 10 years. That's the longest relationship I've ever been in. And I was still saying thank you. I would cry sometimes because I would be so deeply in gratitude over certain things that he was taking care of. And I think that stuff like that freaked him out and bothered him. You know what I mean?
Not me. No.
But not you. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, I know that I can do this for forever. Why? Because my mom and dad, they still do it. They've been married, 50 years or something like that. It's beautiful, And so it's my brain got that programming. So it comes natural to say thank you. I think it's also, again, it ties into respect. Appreciated ties into the R, respected. You mentioned the other two love languages. Y'all know the 5 love languages. Most of you do. If you don't, look them up. But really quickly, acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, gift giving, and quality time. Okay. We naturally are physical touch and words of affirmation, really strong in both of those areas. It's awesome when you have the same love languages. You don't have to have the same ones, but if you're going to appreciate each other and you want you want to thrive for the long haul and you want that yummy love and you want to be best friends for forever, then this is the basic ingredient. These are the basic ingredients to keep your friendship strong and solid, because you really want to do that. And yes, you want the passion going at the same time, which is where desire is going to come into play in just a second. Um, Quality time, we both like to spend a lot of time with each other, but they're all the other ones are self-explanatory. Gift giving. Acts of service, we do a lot of acts of service for each other too. That's just doing little things to make each other's life a little bit easier. So um focus on the positives. So this kind of ties into saying thank you. I'll be like, hey, thank you for all that you've been doing to make sure that you stay balanced. You know, thank you for loving yourself.
At the end of a bad day, I remember pointing out to you, hey, look, today was kind of rough. And it was one of our first rough days where we had a few disagreements, and I think we did get loud with each other. But I pointed out a few of the things we didn't do. I said, hey, you know what? We did get loud. This day was rough, but we did a name call. And I don't feel like we stayed mad at each other for too long. We just kind of respected the space in giving each other silence. And I think that's a good sign. I think that's a good sign for us moving forward.
Growth.
And I think that was all we needed to just get on the same page and go to bed with knowing that we're not going to hate each other in the morning, and this wasn't the sign of something bad to come or anything like that. And let's just be aware of that and keep that in mind moving forward.
And then we always like touch, hug, kiss, or something after any type of conflict. But yeah, that's important for us, and I feel for a lot of couples that's important. You know, it's that old saying, you know, don't ever go to bed angry or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to. It's not always easy, but I usually breathe and do some type of prayer. You know what I mean? For it to be absolved and like. But the good thing is that I usually get a lot of clarity around it and see all the holes and all the gaps. So that already brings me peace. And then I just look forward to having a safe talk the next day about, breaking it all down. Nowadays, it doesn't even like bleed over into times like that, like into the next day.
Gotcha.
I feel like we're pretty much like nipping it in the bud.
Thank you for watching Mindful Love with Justin and Janie. Subscribe to Rise Above TV's YouTube and podcast channel for more mindful content.